Is this the end of Speaker Paul Ryan? It's a very interesting report coming out from Politico talking about Paul Ryan and his possibility that he might be leaving in 2018 during the midterms or before the midterms. Interesting. According to Politico, interviews with 36 of Paul Ryan's colleagues, aides, lobbyists, and allies said that, quote, not a single person believed Paul Ryan will stay in Congress past 2018. Quote, speculation about Ryan's future has swirled for months. Last month, several Republicans told The Hill that they thought Ryan could be serving his last term of Speaker, particularly if Republicans succeed in passing tax reform. So they call it tax reform. It's actually a giant tax cut. But hey, man, that's something that Paul Ryan has been working on for decades, ever since he was a bro back in college, sitting next to the beer keg saying, you know what I wish I could do? Pass gigantic tax cuts for ultra wealthy people and screw over people on Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. I can't wait to do that. To which his colleagues replied, dude, you are one fucked up man. Kidding, of course. GOP lawmaker close to Paul Ryan told The Hill in November, quote, there's certainly a school of thought that says, leave on a high note. And passage of tax reform would be a high note for a guy that spent 18 years in Congress working on it. Because again, destroying the budget, leading to massive cuts in Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security is considered a high note among Republicans. At least among Paul Ryan, whose bill would do exactly that. Who would end up cutting, having an immediate cut in Medicare of about 25%. And of course, the massive budget shortfall, about $1 trillion, that we will not be able to cover. And this, of course, includes the possible economic growth that Republicans claim in the tax bill. Well, it'd have to be paid for by something, right? And Republicans immediately would go to cutting so-called entitlements. You know why they call it an entitlement? Because you paid into it. You're entitled to it. It is your money that they're like, you know what? No, we're going to actually take your money away from you and give it to the rich. That's what that tax bill is about. And that's what Paul Ryan has been fighting for the last 18 years. Again, what a dick. I despise Paul Ryan. Now, congressional Republicans are working to get tax legislation to President Trump's desk by Christmas. They have been a longtime goal of Ryan's, and some GOP lawmakers told The Hill earlier this year that the Speaker could choose to go out on top if Republicans are unable to enact their legislation by Christmas. Again, this is their Christmas present to their donors. We're going to give you a big fat Christmas gift of tax cuts for the rich. Well, that's who we work for. We don't work for you. We work for the ultra wealthy who are going to get a massive payout. People who grew up or inherit wealth, they're going to get an enormous cut when they get rid of the estate tax. The corporations, they're going to get their rates driven down to about 21% in the final version of this bill. 21%. You're going from 35% to 21%. That is a huge, huge cut. And that is, of course, going to starve the government of revenue, which is going to lead to cuts in things like food stamps and other social programs, student loan programs, etc. So look out, man. The Republicans have come for your wallet. And now, if this passes, which it is likely to do, Paul Ryan could possibly retire safe in the knowledge that he has served his donors correctly. So, and that he has served them well. One GOP lawmaker said, quote, maybe Paul slides out of the job if it passes too. That may actually be more likely than leaving on failure. Actually, look, I would prefer that Paul Ryan stay so I can see him get his ass kicked by Randy Bryce. A man that has the Twitter handle of Iron Stash, kind of a badass. Just saying. And look, maybe he's leaving because of that. Maybe he's leaving because of Trump. There could be other reasons that he ain't interested in actually staying around. Again, he doesn't necessarily get along with President Trump. And so, I don't know. Maybe he sees the writing on the wall come 2018. Hey, look, we passed all of this horrendously unpopular stuff. So, and the Democrats, they're coming for us. And this time they've got progressives that are running in a lot of competitive districts. So, I don't know. Again, you've got to have the right kind of Democrat to run in these districts. And I believe that is progressives because they'll be running on incredibly popular progressive policy. Policy like Medicare for all, which, look, Medicare itself polls at about 77%. And it polls popular with Republicans. Medicare for all also polls at a majority, at least above 60%. So you've got these popular policies that Paul Ryan and the rest of the Republicans are looking to gut, and you've got progressives that are running to expand these policies. Which do you think is going to have a better chance? Especially in 2018, when the Republican Party, and especially Trump, are the most unpopular they've ever been. Again, writing on the wall, right? Or there could be other reasons. Politico notes that Paul Ryan, after Mitt Romney's failed 2012 presidential bid, which is funny thinking back to Mitt Romney, I think is the last sane Republican we have seen tried to run for office. This is a guy who said that 47% of Americans are moochers, and that disqualified him from the race. Simple times. Kind of missed them. Back when politicians were at least somewhat sane, and for the most part, tried to hide their contempt for regular people. Now, they don't care. They openly they're openly hostile to pretty much everybody. They no longer hide that contempt for the working person. Now, the article says that the Wisconsin Republican had told his wife that he was considering stepping down from the House after losing 2012. It was then Speaker Boehner who talked him out of retiring, offering him a waiver that would allow him to continue to serve as the chairman of the Budget Committee. So look, who knows, right? Now, the official report from Ryan says that he denies that he's leaving. Quote, "I ain't going anywhere." Ryan's office also expanded on the report by saying, quote, "This is pure speculation." Obviously, we know that. And as the speaker himself said today, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And you know what? Again, I have to say that I don't want him to go. I don't want him to resign. I want him to get crushed at the ballot box by Randy Bryce. That's what I want to see. So, yeah, go ahead and stay there, Paul Ryan. Either way, your days are numbered, man. And for that, I've got to say good riddance and hopefully bye, Felicia.